drawing. It's awesome. It's such a great craft. It's really truly the basis of everything we do as fine artists. I think that's, pretty arguable statement, or people would agree with me. It's certainly the basis of painting. The best, most famous, successful painters are quite, accomplished drawers. Me personally, I actually think that I'm more successful at painting than drawing. I struggle a lot with it. I'm, not the best, and it takes a lot of time and practice for me to improve. And if I don't do it for a while, I'll lose these skills. It's a very fickle sort of like craft and skill, I guess you could say. I went to an atelier for 1 year, which is a traditional kind of painting, drawing, sculpting studio. So I focus pretty much on human anatomy, figurative stuff. That's just my background. I learned a lot in that year, how to look at the figure and shapes and values differently, and it certainly affects how I practice and what I drill and all that good stuff. I have some human anatomy and figure drawing books here. But what we're gonna do is I have a bunch of clips from different drawing sessions, 10-minute drawings, 20-minute drawings, all warm-ups, then longer, more serious drawings, hour plus. We'll be sitting, we'll be standing, we'll be using different types of paper, different pencils and accoutrements, and I kind of just want to share different drills I do and different practice sessions. So today is pretty much drills and studies and practice. That's all I got. I don't know what else to say. It's gonna be some voiceovers, some time lapses. I'm pretty excited to share this video because drawing's awesome, you know what I mean? So let's begin. All right, voiceover. Pretty excited about this video. We're gonna run through warm-ups, different longer sketches. These are all warm-ups to begin starting out. And I like to use colored pencils for these warm-ups. They're just a nice feel. You don't erase much. And the point of a warm-up, just like sports or anything, is getting the grease off the joints, warming up your muscles, getting familiar with a pencil in your hand, super quick. These sketches are mostly from imagination. I use Yu-Gi-Oh cards here just for a little reference, just to draw literally anything. So that's the point. These are super crude drawings, super quick. I'm not really thinking. I'm just putting the pencil down to the paper, doing something. That's the main agenda here. And this is a similar theme for all of drawing practice. I'm not trying to quote unquote do a good drawing, or I'm not saying it's bad or good or in those categories. It's more just to practice and to put the time in. Some drawings will be more successful obviously than others, but the point is just to put the work in. So those were just super fast, 10-minute or less. This is the same thing, except I'm copying from a book. This is an Andrew Loomis book. I'll put all the books I use in the description. But I'm using just a normal graphite pencil. And I'm just following this book, doing some head studies, super quick. These smaller ones are, under 10 minutes, really, really quick, trying to get a little form. I do that egg shape to start out, a super common, finding the head and features method, the Riley method, also the Loomis head, all pretty similar stuff. And then I'm gonna move into a kind of a longer-ish drawing here, like a 20-minute. I'm taking my time more. I'm setting up the planes of the face, the features. I'll put some value in here, you can see. And this is just me being a little more gentler, with the graphite, being more patient, and just kind of taking my time to put the things in the correct spots. And so yeah, this video is obviously not how to draw, because that's something you'll have to learn by yourself, or these planes, the value, all these words, all these things I'm talking about. This is just showing you kind of inside to my little practice sessions and things I like to draw. So those are two nice little 20-minute heads. Still nothing too serious, but we're gonna move on to some charcoal warm-ups, and this is like my favorite thing to do. This is just beautiful reference, and we're just taking 15 minutes to find the form. These aren't gesture drawings. Gesture is very quick, 30 seconds to a minute. These are obviously a little longer, but I'm just trying to, flow around with my pencil, find the form, find the gesture, put a little value in, but nothing too serious, just really just flowing with this pencil, trying to find the figure, just to warm up, just to rapid fire, bang out some drawings. And the proportions obviously are not perfect in any of these. 15 minutes isn't super long, but you can get, a decent amount of the figure, but it's, again, it's just to get familiar with the pencil in my hand and, trying to find those proportions. Yeah, charcoal's super fun. It's obviously really soft, gets really dark. It's kind of smudges a lot, so it's a little more challenging, but it's super fun. Moving on to the toned paper, I love using this. I pretty much use this all while I was at the atelier. It's gray paper, so you could use the white pencil. We got a beautiful portrait of this old guy right here. You know, this drawing isn't super successful again. It's gonna be a longer one, 30, 40 minutes, I think this one was. But this is just having fun, you know. As long as I'm putting in time and I'm sitting down, I know I'm gonna do a 30, 40 minute drawing, regardless of the outcome. It's beneficial to me. So I just start off trying to find the features, you know. I think this face is a little scrunched compared to the reference, but you can see here how the white pencil just comes through beautifully. Oh, I love that. This is like my favorite way to draw. I get a little weird here, I get a little crazy. I use this ballpoint pen for like the eye sockets, the eyelids, where it's super, super dark and my pencil wasn't getting dark enough. Then I actually move into this charcoal pencil, which is a little wacky. And you know, the features aren't terrific, you know, the form and the shapes in this head aren't super structured, but you know, it's still a fun little 30-minute drawing. And then moving on to some vine charcoal. If you've never used this stuff, it's like the closest thing to putting a stick in a fire and then drawing with that. It's super brittle, super light, super dry, super dusty. You know, it's extremely soft. So it's actually quite challenging. I tried this kind of more ambitious full figure, and you could see that a bunch of these proportions are super off. But I decided to give it a shot, put in an hour standing up. I like the start of this drawing, actually. You can see that shoulder shape, beautiful, like a shield. And I was like, okay, at this point, trying to feel it out, triangulate all these landmarks. And it kind of just went downhill. These legs, this right arm and right leg are just dramatically too big, but this is a pretty hard drawing. But so a drawing like this, taking more time, like I said, an hour, I'm definitely trying to get the form and the anatomy correct, and then just put in the values to make it pop. You can see the reference on the left-hand side there. Now you can't as much, but the background is pretty dark under like his waist, to make the light skin where the light is pop out. So I tried to do that at the end. And right there, I try to fix the knee, actually bring it up, make it shorter, and I don't do a good job, actually. It's pretty funny. But at least I'm aware. I was aware during this drawing of what I needed to try to fix, and just wasn't super successful doing that. But this is just practice, using different materials. The vine charcoal, like I said, super challenging. I don't use it a lot. People like vine charcoal for gesture drawing, really quick stuff. So these longer drawings isn't super common for me or many other people, I believe. But I still gave it my best shot. And actually, the face turned out really awesome, I think, which is funny. You know, just that little part. I spent maybe 5 minutes on that face and was just trying to maneuver the rest. But yeah, that's pretty cool head. I really like that strong male head. Turned out cool, but there you go, vine charcoal. Moving on to this terracotta sculpture. I have these two books with the same picture, and I was actually in Florence where this was at a museum, and this is the picture I took. And I remember being in Florence being like, wow, I would love to draw that. It's awesome. So I gave it a shot here, and it was another super challenging long drawing that I fumbled around quite a bit. Laying down poses for me are so challenging. You know, there's a lot of foreshortening, like the knee coming right at me, and that means like that shape is, it's a weird shape when it comes at you, pointing directly at you. You know, the shape is dramatically skewed and warped, so that's all challenging. But here I'm just fumbling around again, trying to triangulate all the shapes, the mass, the rib cage, the major landmarks, and use plumb lines and put those in the correct spots and put it in value early on here, which isn't smart. I'm trying to put in detail before I get the main structure, which is something I always do, but I'm just fumbling. And you know, again, I'll stress this, just because I'm fumbling, it's super challenging and I don't think it came out successful at all. It doesn't mean it was a waste of time. This was a great challenge and it's good. You want to fail. That's like the goal. If you're ambitious to fail and to not draw something quote unquote well, then you're going to start winning. You're just going to start improving. And this is the last drawing, the more serious one that I took an hour and a half, 90 minutes. I'm using charcoal here. I got that bristle brush, actually, you can see, to smudge some of this charcoal, this beautiful charcoal, on more of this textured paper, so you can get some of that nice texture. And charcoal's super awesome because it's more of like a painting. We'll talk about this in a second. But similar to everything else I was doing, these longer drawings, trying to get the proportions down, just the line work in, the structure, some shadow lines, some plain lines. You can see the chin is totally too small here. All these proportions are not super correct. I fix that in the future, but you know, really taking my time. I know this is gonna be a longer drawing, so I'm trying to get everything correct before I start putting in these dark values. And it really is more like a painting using this charcoal. You know, I'm smudging around with this brush with my fingers, getting all the gamut, the whole range of values from black to white. And I'm using, you'll see I erase a lot to get the lightest values. So it's super fun, you know, it's very different than just using a graphite pencil where you can't really smudge or do all that stuff. You know, charcoal is super epic, and it is challenging, but it's also perhaps easier in my brain to maneuver because it's more of a painterly style, excuse me. But so yeah, right here I'm erasing some of the hair to get those highlights. I'm moving things around slightly. This cheek, this left cheek, you know, is what really brought the whole, you know, likeness to this woman, I think. You know, erasing that forehead to get that light value, and boom, you know. 90 minutes is, again, not super long. Like if you don't have 90 minutes in a day to focus, I think you can really make, you can push yourself to push 90 minutes. But you know, this was fun. This is more successful than all the other drawings, but you know, I took my time. This was the longest. I'm sitting down, I'm prepared. I was definitely warmed up at this point. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this kind of walkthrough just of a few drawings, you know. I think this was over the course of 2 days or something. Purposely filming these to show you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Drawing's awesome. I don't do it enough, but you know, to maintain this practice, it's what I gotta do. Yeah, and you can just check out me going normal speed here, just putting in the final values. It's super awesome. These old books I use are from like the 40s and 50s, and so you can tell that this woman is stylized in like that old school 40s, 50s style, and all the characters in that book were super old school. It's really funny, actually. You know, modern day books do not, like modern day people do not look like this, people who are drawing these people. But again, I'll put those books in the description if you would like. And yeah, by the way, I'm filming this voiceover right now directly before I'm gonna upload this video because somehow I lost the previous voiceover, and I was gonna upload it at 12. I made that little community post, but I'm here at my computer right now, redoing it, so that's kind of why this video is gonna be late, and I apologize, but I had to refilm this right now. I'm gonna have to put this back into my Premiere file. I'm gonna have to render it out and make sure it's all flush and nice, so that's why it's late, and you know, that's just pretty much the reason. But yeah, boom, there's the final shebang. The accoutrements, all delicious. That's all I got. I'm gonna put this right back into my computer. You could see that I just finished the video of the voiceover. So hopefully you enjoyed. Again, you know, let me know what you think in the comments of this style of drawing. Got any questions? I'll try to put the materials and books and everything in the description, even though I know I'll get a bunch of questions. But stay tuned, got some epic projects coming soon. See you in the next video.